So today we are going to see how we can implement clean architecture with block state management into our Flutter project, okay? And we will use some APIs in this project. So just visit this website, you will get these all APIs. So I have already opened this website, okay? And just scroll down, then you will get many APIs here, okay? Like post, comment, album, photos, to do's, users, and all. So you will get this guide option here, so just press on the guide option, then you will get this page. Then you can see there are lots of APIs, okay? So I'm going to open Postman, okay, and I'm going to show you how we can use these all APIs. So this is my Postman. So we will use this API to get all the posts, okay? And this will be the post request, okay? This is the post request, and just change with get and send this. So you can see we have our API, and this is our data, okay, which we are getting when we are sending this uh, button, okay? So these all are the data of post. And then so we will use this one API, and we will use another one API, that will be the comment API, okay? So with the help of this comment API, we will get all the comments related to this post and post ID. This is the ID, okay? One is the post ID, okay? So these all are the post list. So I'm going to change this. So you can see this is the another URL, and now I'm going to send this. So you can see there are many comments related to post one, okay? Just change this. So you can see there are another comments related to this post ID too, okay? So we will use this API also, okay? And now one more API is there we will use. So we will use one post API, okay? So just copy this and change to post, okay? Here method will be the post, and just paste this, and here we need to pass the body, okay? So we are passing body when we are posting data. So you can see we have a body here. So just copy this JSON and paste here, okay? So we will post title, body, and user ID, okay? Any title we will pass here, and any body and any user ID, okay? We will pass, okay? So you can see in the response we are getting title, body, and user ID and ID, okay? So we will use this post API, okay? And we will also use this get API to get all the posts, okay? And we will use this comment API to get all the list of comments, okay? So we will use this three API. So this is the blank project which I have created in Flutter, and this is totally blank. Now I'm going to add some dependencies, okay, which we will use in this project. So first one will be the Flutter block. Flutter block dependency we will use, and then we will use one more like equitable we will use, okay. So Flutter block will provide the block state management features, and equitable we are using to compare two objects, and then we will use get it. It will provide the dependency injection, okay. So we will register all the classes here, and then we can use and then yes, if it is necessary then we will add more dependency here, but now it is enough. And just import these all. So just press on pub get, so you will get all the dependencies. So you can see we have successfully installed these all dependencies. Now I'm going to create the structure of clean architecture. So just so firstly we will have to install some plugins to generate the clean architecture folder, okay. So just go here in the setting option, and then search here clean firstly search here plugins, okay, and just press on this plugin, and then here search clean architecture in the inside marketplace, okay. So you can see you will get this clean architecture for Flutter. So I have already installed, so it is showing that installed, but you will have to install this, okay. And one more thing you required is, so we will use this block, okay. So you need to install this also. I have already installed, so you need to install, okay. You need to install this and just restart your Android Studio IDE, okay. And after that you need to go to lib and just press right click, and then you will get this clean generator option. If you already installed clean architecture plugin, then you will get this clean generator option. Then just press on Flutter, and then here you can create any folder, okay. So I am going to write the name of folder my blocks, okay, and just check this and just click on this, okay. So you can see we have a my block folder, and inside this we can see there are lots of folder. One is the data folder, one is the domain folder, and one is the presentation folder, okay. So clean architecture provide three layers, okay. So data, domain, and presentation. With the help of this we will write our codes, okay. So firstly we will work on domain folder. So you can see there is the entities, so we will have to create the entities of each post and comments, okay. So firstly I am going to create the entity of this post, okay. So you can see there are lots of data we are getting inside post. So I'm going to create this all entities here. So just right click and then create dart file, and then write post entity, okay, and create the class, okay. Post entity, and then here we need to use these all variables, okay, like user id is the integer, and id is also the integer, okay. So we will use integer user id, and this will be the id, and this is also a integer, so we are using. And title is the string and body is also the string, so we are going to use string title, and similarly we will use body, and just create the constructor of the class. And here we will have to use the name parameter. Okay, so just use user id dot id, okay, and then we will have to extend this with equitable. Okay, so just extend here and write equitable, so you can see equitable is imported here, and just click on this, then you will get this red bulb, then just press it on this, then you will get this create one missing override. Just click on this, so you will get this. Okay, so we will have to return all the variables here, like user id here, and then id, and then title, and then body. Okay, so this is the way to create the entity. So we have successfully added our post entity class, and similarly we will create the entity of all comments. Okay, so you can see, so you can see this is the comment API, and we are getting all the variables. So we will use these all variables to create the entity here. So just click on this and create the dot file, write comment entity here, create class, and inside this we will have to use all variables. So first one is the post id, and post id I think it is the integer. Yes, integer, and then id is also a integer, and then name, email, and body all are in string. Okay, so we will use string here, name, email, and body. Okay, so we will use email here, and we will use body. Okay, and just create the constructor of this class. So here we will write this class name, and then we will use the name parameter. So we will use post id here, id, name, and then email, and similarly for the body. Okay, and what is the next step? We will have to extend equitable here. Okay, so we will get this red error, then we'll have to overwrite this. Okay, and then we will have to return all the variables, like post id here, and then id, so our comment entity class is also completed. Now I am going to create our repository class. Okay, so entity class is successfully created. Now I'm going to create this repository class. So just create this. You can take any name, but I'm using my repository. Okay, my blog repository I'm going to use. Okay, just create class here, and then inside this we will have to create all the methods. Okay, so this will be the type of abstract. Okay, and now here uh, what we are using in the postman. So this is the, firstly I'm going to use this. Okay, so we will get all the post list. Okay, so I'm going to create the method variable here. Okay, so here we can use future. Firstly I'm going to data folder here, and then inside remote we will get this model. So I'm going to create one model, to show all the responses when the API will hit. Okay, uh, I'll I'll show you after further. Okay, so just create one dart file, dart class. So we will use main response model class here, and then we will use this, and just I am going to use one integer type. So we will use status code here. We will put all the status, we will put the status code here when we are getting the response. I will show you further. Okay, and one I will use each success. Okay, so we will store true or false here, and then uh, one thing more, I am going to take one message variable here. So in this we will put all the messages, and one we will take object, and inside this object we will put all the object, we will put the object which is coming from the response. Okay, API response, and then just create the constructor of this class. So here just create the name parameter here, status code, and this dot is success. And now I am going to create one string method, okay, to show all the responses which is stored in this, which is hold in this model class. Okay, so we will use this, so it will not show like instance of model, it will show the original data. Okay, so just return this, and then we will use this status code here. After that we will use this is success. Okay, so our main response model is completed. Okay, and here in the repository class, my block repository class, firstly we need to create the method, okay, to get all the post list. Okay, so here I am going to take one feature, and here we will pass this model class. Okay, so we will get all the data in the form of this response model. Okay, main response model. I think there is some issue with my ID, so I'm going to close this and open it again. Okay, so I have restarted my IDE, and then you can see option is working now. So I am using this main response model which we have recently created. Okay, and firstly we will get all the post. Okay, so we are using this get all post. Okay, so we are getting all the APIs, so I am using this method. You can use any name. Okay, and just import this main response model. So I have imported this main response model, and this is the abstract class. So if you want to use this, so you will have to extend this. So we will extend into the another class, so no one can access directly. Okay, so here we will use get all comments. Okay, we will use this API. Okay, so we will use this get all comments. So here just rename this get all comments, and we will have to pass this post id. Okay, so this post id we will pass. So I'm going to send one parameter like post id. Okay, and the id will be the type of integer. Okay, so next one is the add post. So we can achieve the post method. So this is the API, and we will post some data. So here we will use add post. Okay, and then here we will have to pass this post entity, because we will pass the data in the form of these user id, title, body. Okay, so here we will use this entity post entity. Okay, so this is the repository class we have already almost completed, and now just close this. And now I'm going to create use cases. Okay, so with the help of these use cases, we will execute operations from our block classes. We will further see. Okay, so just I'm going to create this get all post use cases. So here create dart file, and then get all post use cases. Okay, just create class here, and then here what we can do, we will have to call this repository class here. Okay, so write final, and then my blog repository, and we will have to create the constructor here. So we will use this dot my blog repository, and this will be the required. Okay, and now here we will create one more method, that is, and here we will use main response model, which we have created to get the response. Okay, and just import this. And here what we can do, in the get all post, we are not getting any parameters, so I'm not passing here, and just use async here, and then here we will use this my blog repository dot, then we can access all the methods. Okay, here, so we will use this get all post method here, get all post. Okay, and just return this, so it will not throw any error. So you can see our error has resolved. So similarly we will create for another method. Okay, so we will create another use cases. So I am going to create the get all comment use cases. So just right click on this, create dart file, get all comment use cases. Okay, so we will have to create this class. Okay, so just so we need to call this class. Okay, so we will create the instance of this class my blog repository, and then my blog repository, and then we will create the constructor of this use cases, and then we will use this dot my repository, then it will be the required type. So just pass required here, and then create one method, and here we will use main response model, and then just import this. Okay, and then here we will use async, and then we will return, and then you will use my blog repository dot all comments. So in the all comment we will have to pass the post id. Okay, so with the help of this use cases we will pass the post id. So here post id will be the type of integer, and then post id. Okay, so you can see our error has gone. Our get all comment use cases is also completed, get all post use cases is also completed, and now we are going to create the add post use cases. Okay, so just create dart file here, and then we will create and then we will create then we will import this. Okay, so firstly create the instance of this my blog repository class. It is not showing option, so I'm going to close my id and restart it again. So just so you can see the option is coming my blog repository, and then we will use my blog repository and just create the constructor of this class. So here we will pass this dot my blog repository. Okay, and then we need to use required here. Okay, and just create the function here. So we will use future here, and then main repository main response model, and then we will use call, and the type is, and just import this response model, and then here we will have to return this return my blog repository dot add post, and we will have to pass the post entity. Okay, so here we will use post entity, and then we will pass this post entity. Okay, so with this way we will pass all the variables. Okay, in the add post. So here we have completed our all the use cases. Now I'm going to work inside. So we have already worked on domain layer. Okay, we have created entities, repositories, and use cases. Okay, now I'm going to work inside data. Okay, data, and you can see there is also a repository, so I'm going to create the repository. So here we will use my repository, my blog repository impl. Okay, and just create the class. Okay, and then here we will have to extend the repository class which is available inside domain, which we have already created this. Okay, so we will extend this, and we can use this all method one by one. Okay, so here I'm going to extend this my blog repository, which is available in the my domain folder. So here my blog repository, so you can see there is error, and we will have to override all the methods which is written inside this repository class. You can see. Okay, so we will have to override all the classes here. So I'm going to click on this create three missing override, so you can see all the methods added here. Okay, so inside this we will add all the operations. Okay, so this is the my blog repository impl file. So I'm going to collect this domain folder, and now I'm going to work on this remote folder. Okay, so inside remote data source. Okay, so we have to work on this source folder. Okay, so we'll have to create data source. So just create one dot file. Yes, so we need to create the data source class. Okay, so just to create the dot file, and now I'm going to create my blog remote data source. Okay, just create the class here, and now I'm going to just click on this domain and go inside this repository and just copy these all methods, okay, and just paste inside my blog remote data source, okay, and you will get these all errors, so we will have to use as abstract here, okay. So we need to pass a abstract here and just import this main response model, and then we will import this also. So you can see there is no error now, and this is the my blog remote data source class completed. Now I'm going to create impl file uh, of this class, okay. So just create one more dot file here, my blog remote data source impl, okay. So this is completed. Now I'm going to override this all, okay. So I just extend option is not coming, so I'm going to close this id and open this again. So this will, I think this will come, okay. So here we need to extend my blog repository, my blog remote data source, which we have recently created this, okay, this class. So we are extending this, so we will have to override all the classes because we are using abstract class here, okay. So we will have to override all the methods here. So just press this. So just press on red bulb and then create three missing overrides. So you can see there are three methods. And now here what we can do, yes, so here we will write all the logics to get the data from API, post the data to the API, okay. So we will execute all the operations here in the remote data source impl file, okay. And just go here inside data, and then click on repository, and then go here my repository impl file, and just create the instance of this data source, this data source remote data source class, okay. So here we will use my blog data source and then my blog data source here, and then create the constructor of this class, this dot, and just pass this my blog remote data source here, okay. So you can see we need to use as required, okay. So you can see our error has gone, okay. And now we will have to return this. We are posting the data here, okay. So we will use my blog data source dot add post, and we need to pass the post, okay. So we are getting the post entity from here, okay. And here we need to uh, return my blog remote data source dot get all comments, okay. So inside this we will have to pass the post id. So we are getting the post id from here, so I am passing this here, okay. So similarly for this we will use return here, and then my blog repository dot get all post, okay. So we will get all the post here, okay, and use as async here. So this class is almost completed, okay. So I'm going to close this, and we will work on this class now, okay, to get and post all the APIs, okay. So I'm going to work on this add post first, okay. So firstly I'm going inside lib folder, and then I'll create one folder here, okay. That will be the name of common, and inside this we will create one file config, okay, and here we will use here we will put all the global variables which we are going to use on any file. Okay, so firstly I will use this base URL. Okay, so just copy this base URL and we will use this base URL, then string, and then here we will use static so we can access directly. So here string base URL equals to, and then pass the URL which we have already copied from the postman from here. Okay, and then we will use and URL here. Okay, and after this we will use static, and then here we will use post. Okay, so we will use this post, and then okay, and similarly for the comment, in the comment API we can see here, so we will have to use these comments. Okay, so just copy this comments and paste here. Okay, when we are getting all the comments, then we will use this and URL, and when we are getting all the posts, then we will use this post. Okay, and if we want to post, then we will also use this. Okay, okay, so this is the base URL and this is the end URL, and we will also have to add one more dependency, that is the HTTP for network call. Okay, to get the API responses. So we will use HTTP and just import this. So you can see it is already imported. Now I am uh, going to import HTTP here which we have imported, and then so we can access this with HTTP. Okay, so here we will use HTTP client, and then we will use variable here. Okay, and then we will use variable client equals to HTTP client. Okay, so this is the HTTP client we will use uh, to execute operations with API. Okay, so here in the my blog repository data source IMPL, we will use firstly we will use here async. Okay, and here also we will use async, and then here also we will use async. Okay, and then here we will use response, and then we will use this class, so we can access this with this config dot client. Okay, so we will use config class dot, then you will get this client. Okay, so we are accessing this client. Okay, from here, and then we will put get, and then here we need to pass URI dot parse, so it will parse our URL which we will pass here. So what is the base URL? This is the base URL, so we will have to access this with string interpolation. So we will use config dot base URL here, and then after this base URL we will use this post okay, and URL. So we will have to use this post with config. Okay, so here we will use dollar config dot what is the name post. Okay, and then here what we can do, if response, and here we will have to use await because we are using async here. Okay, so here response dot status code in the post okay, so here we will convert this JSON to we will decode this JSON. Okay, now so here converted JSON equals to response dot body. Okay, so we will get all the responses here. So we will get all the responses, and okay, so we will use this JSON decode and then pass this response dot body here. So it will decode all the responses which is coming from the API and just return. Before this we will have to wrap inside try catch block. So just select this and press Ctrl Alt T, so you will get this all options. So just select this try catch block. Okay, and here just return, and inside return we will have to use our main response model class, which we have created to hold all the responses like status code is success message data. So this is the work of this class. Okay, so here we need to use main response model, and inside main response model we will have to pass the variables like status code what we are passing like 200 I am going to pass. And then here we can also use some global variable. Okay, status code. Okay, here static integer, and this will be the 3 response. Okay, and this will be the 4 response. Okay, 4 response code. So we will use this all response code here. Okay, not using hard coded. Okay, so config dot 200 status code. Okay, and then after this in the main response model we will use each success, and then here we will pass each success equals to true. Okay, you can also use this true here also here, and we can use this true and false. Okay, and then here next one is the message. So use message here, and you can also separate this string here and just call this I am going to use hard coded here. Okay, post added successfully, and then we will have to pass the data. So we are passing this converted JSON from here. Okay, in the return. Okay, so similarly just copy this, and then inside the catch block we will have to pass this, and then just change the status code. We will use 400 status code here because it is coming in cache, and the is success will be the false, and then post addition field. No, we can use this message. Okay, which is coming inside cache. So e dot to string. Okay, and here we can pass null value if the data will not come. Okay, so this is the you can also separate this string. Okay, just put this string here, and we can access this here. Okay, so this is the way to write the code inside add post. Okay, to post the data. Now I am going to write the code inside get all comment to get all comments, and post to get all the post. Okay, so now I'm going to write this all code. So just copy this try and catch block. Okay, so just copy this try and catch block and then paste here. Okay, and then here the okay, so I'm going to check the comment how we are getting all comments. So the base URL and then post. So the base URL, and then post we have passed. Okay, base URL, then slash post, and then slash post, and after that post we need to pass the ID. Okay, so and after that we will pass this comment. So here we need to pass. Okay, so here we need to pass slash, and then after this we will have to use this post ID which is coming from here. Okay, and after this we will have to use config dot comment. Okay, so this is the comment. Okay, so we will get post and then ID and then slash comments. Okay, so post and then ID. Okay, then ID and then slash comment. We are not passing slash here because in the comments already it is slash. Okay, so with the help of this we will get all the comments, and then here we will check if response dot status code is equal to config dot 200. If it is 200, then we will return this. Okay, and then just cut this variable from here and then paste here, and in the else condition we will also paste this, and here post addition failed. Just change the message. Okay, you can put any message here. Okay, and this will be the false, and this will be another status code you can use. I'm using 300. So this is the way to get all the comments. Okay, so this is the API we have implemented in all get all comments. So just copy this try catch block and just paste here also in the all post. So here I am going to remove this. Okay, and here I think I have done some mistake. Okay, I'll just go inside add post, and we are getting some parameter in the add post, and this will be the post. Okay, post method, this will not be the get method, and we need to pass the body here. Okay, so just pass body here, and then in the body we will use post entity here. Okay, we can also pass the data like this. Okay, but I am not going to use this type. Inside body I am going to use this post entity. Okay, okay, so just go inside get all post, and then here post faced successfully. Just change the message post face failed. Okay, faced failed. Okay, apt. So our API is completed. Now I have missed something to create the model. Okay, so we'll have to create the model of all the entities which we have created. So this is I have left, so I'm going to create all the models. So just create post model here, and then class, then here, and then just go inside post entity and just copy this and paste here inside post model, and then just change the name of this constructor, and then here we will use factory, and then post model dot from JSON, and then we will use map, and then we'll have to pass the type. So we will use string dynamic, and then JSON, and then we will have to return this post model, and inside this we need to use user ID, and then we will use JSON, and then inside this we will use the exact name which is coming from the API. Okay, so we will use ID also, and we will use this title also, and then we will use this body also. Okay, so when we will get the all response, so it will we can compare this with this with this okay, with factory it will create single instance, and then we will create map here and just pass the type, and then so this is creating because uh, we want to post the data. Okay, so we are creating this. Okay, and then we will have to return, and then we will use this user ID here. Okay, so similarly we will create for all variables. So this is the model class. Okay, a post model class. So similarly we will create the post comment model class. Okay, so just create one dot class here, comment model, and then create the class here, and then here uh, just go inside comment entity and then copy this and just paste here. Okay, and just go here, post comment model, and then we will have to create the factory here, factory class here, then comment model dot from JSON, and then map string dynamic, and then we will use here JSON, and then we will have to return this class, that is comment model, and then we'll have to pass all the variables like post ID, and then we will use this post ID, and then name, and then email, and then body. Okay, email, and then body. Okay, so here just copy this and paste this, and one more thing we have left, we'll have to extend with comment entity, so it will compare with comment entity. Okay, so extend this with this, and then we will use super here, and then we will use post ID, and then post ID, and then we will use ID, and then here ID, name, email, and then here we will use body. Okay, so we have also left in the post model, so just go inside post model and then extend with post entity. Okay, and just inside super we'll have to mention all the user ID, and then we will use this ID here, and similarly we will use title here, and then title, and then body here. Okay, so our model class is also completed. Now I am going to just use post entity all only, okay. So it will pass the data, no issues. Now I am going to, so you can see our API class is all completed, okay. So you can see we have created add post method here, get all comments here, get all post to get all the post, okay. So we have created successfully these all, and then I'm going to work on our UI, okay. So we will work inside presentation layer, okay. So we have completed our domain layer, data layer, and we are going to work on this presentation layer. So here we can see there are three folders. One is the manager, one is the page, and one is the widget. So inside manager we will use block cubit, and then pages we will add some pages, and after that we will use widget. We can define or not, okay. If you are using any pages and if you want some widget, then we can define all the widgets here and we can pass, but I'm not going to use this widget, okay. So here I'm going to change, rename this manager. So just go on refactor and just change with qubit, okay. Which state management you are using, you can use according to your need, okay. I'm using this block here, block qubit, so I'm using qubit here, okay. You can specify any name here. So firstly I'm going to create two folders here. So just post qubit, okay. So we will execute all the operations related to post. So in the post we are posting the data and we are getting the list of all post, okay. So we will execute all the operations here, and then we will create one more folder here, that will be the comment qubit. So here we will get all the comments, okay. So just press on this comment qubit and then click on new, and then just go inside qubit classes, okay. And then here we need to write the class name. So I'm going to use same name. So just change with equitable, okay, and create, okay. So you can see two classes added, one is the qubit classes and one is the state classes. So with the help of this we will manage the state with the block, okay. So similarly for the post qubit we will generate our qubit classes. So click on qubit classes, and then here we will use post qubit and just change with an equitable, okay, and just press on okay. So you will get two classes, post qubit and post state similarly, okay. And after this okay, so in the comment, okay, comment qubit, firstly open this comment qubit, and then uh, I'm going to all the use cases, okay, here. So we know that we have created three use cases inside domain folder, you can see. So here we will use get all comment use cases, okay. So here we will use final get, okay. This is not coming, so I'm going to import manually here, and then inside domain we will get the use cases, and inside this we will use get all comment use cases, okay. So now we will have to use get all, just change the name of the get all comment use cases, I have written wrong, okay. So just change this, add post use cases, get all post use cases, okay, and get all comment use cases. Now it is correct. Now here we will use get all comment use cases, and then get, and this inside this we will use this dot get all use comment cases and just use required here. Okay, so this will be the compulsory. So similarly we will import all the post use cases inside post qubit. Okay, so here we will use import domain and then use cases, and inside this we will use get all post cases and add post cases. Okay, we will use this these are two. Okay, and here we will use final get all comment use case, get all post use cases, and then similarly add post use cases and then add post use cases and just pass here. Okay, dot get all and then dot add post, and this will be the type of required. So here we need to also pass this required, so you can see it's nice. Okay, so these are the post qubit. Okay, and this is the comment qubit. Now I am going to create the three pages where we are going to display all the comments, all the post, and where we are going to post the data. Okay, so firstly I am going to create three classes. One will be the error page. Three pages we are going to create. Okay, so all pages screen. Okay, and just import material dot, and then we will use stateful widget here. Okay, and similarly we will create one more file here. Okay, so add, I think I have done some mistake. Okay, so just delete this all page screen and then create one more dot file here, all post screen. Okay, and import material dot here and create one stateful widget. Similarly we will create another page, that is the add post page. Import material dot here also, and then we will create a stateful widget. Okay, and one more class will be there to show all comments. Okay, comments screens, import material dot, and then we will take stateful widget here. Okay, and one more page will be there, that will be the error screen. Okay, import material dot here also, and then take stateful widget, and then here now I'm going to decorate little bit. Okay, on every pages. So here we will use scaffold, sorry, firstly we will use shape area. It will provide the spaces from the notch of the mobile phones, like toolbar, status bar. Okay, so here we will use scaffold to provide container, and it will provide body. Inside this we will use center, and then inside center we will use one text to show which page it is. Okay, add post, and then here this text will align to the center of the screen. So okay, so just copy this block and then go inside all comment and just paste here, and after that we will use here also all post. Okay, similarly we will add inside error page. Okay, so here we will use error page. You can decorate it according to your need. Okay, this error page I'm not going to decorate this. So now our next step is to create the routes. Okay, so here I'm going to create route. So I'm going to remove this home inside main.dart, and then I'm going to use this theme color as orange, and then initial route will be this slash, and then we will use routes, and then here we can use context. So here we will use context, okay, context, and then we will use, I think we have to return this, okay. So this will directly land on all post screen when we will run this application, okay, from the main.dart, okay. And now I am going to use on generated route, okay. So we will separate our route. So inside common I am going to create one more folder here, that will be the name. I am going to write routes, okay, routes, okay. And then here I am going to create one class page constants, create one class here, and then here we will write all the pages name in the form of string, okay. So here we will use add post screen, and here, so first page will be the add post screens, second screen will be the all post, and then third will be the all comments, and then, okay, and one will be the error screen, okay. So just copy this and paste here also, copy this and paste here also, copy this and paste here also. So we will use these all string to navigate from one page to another page, okay. So these are the page constants. We will create one more class on generated route class, where we will define all the pages, okay, where we want to navigate, okay. On generated route, and then create class here. I think my id is not working properly, so I'm going to close this Android Studio and open again. Okay, so we will use class here, and then pass the class name, and then here just ignore this because we have already imported all the dependencies. And now I am going to use future here, and then we will pass dynamic, no, we will use route here, okay. And this will be the type of static, and then we will use route, okay. And then we will pass the type, so the type will be the type of dynamic, and then we will use routes. And here we are going to use route settings, and then route setting, and then here we will use switch cases to navigate from one page to another page, okay. We will pass all the pages here. So before this we will have to create material page route, okay, material page route here, and then material page route after this class, okay. And then here what we can do, okay, and then here what we are going to do, we will use widget and then widget, okay, and then here add required, okay, so the error will go gone, okay, and then here we will have to return this material page route, and then here just pass context, so we have no any context, so I'm passing blank here, and then here we will have to pass this widget, okay, and then okay, so with the help of this material page route we will pass all the pages, so here we will use switch cases here, and then here we will use settings, this setting dot name, okay, with the help of this we will get the name of each pages, so here we will use case, and then here in the case we will use paste constant class, okay, this class where we have written all the strings of the uh, classes, okay, so paste constant dot add post screen, firstly I am using, if it is add post screen then we will return our page, so with the help of this material page route we will pass the widget, okay, so with the help of this we will pass the widget, so widget will be the add post screen, okay, so first case we have created successfully, and now I am going to create another case, so another case will be the all post screen, okay, and here we will pass another screen here, and then here we will use all comment screen, and then here we will use all comment screen, okay, and after this we will use error screen here, no we can use here default, okay, okay, in the default we will pass error page, error screen, okay, so with the help of these switch cases we can use this, okay, and we will also pass some data into the all comment screen, because we will have to pass the post id to get all the comments list, okay, so here we will use variable and type any name, and then we will use settings dot ar argument, so with the help of this argument we will get the data which is coming from the previous data, so we will pass later, okay, here sorry, here, okay, we will pass later here, okay, and just pass this on generated route here in the main dot, so we will use on generated route dot route, and then remove this, and then you can see our route is also completed, okay, our route page is also completed, now I'm going to close this, okay, and then now our next step is to create the dependency injection, okay. So hello, so just I'm going to create the dependency injection class, so just collapse this all, and now I'm going inside common folder, and then here we will create one dart file, and then you can use any class name, I am using injection container, okay, and then we will create one method here, and the method will be the type of, and the method will be the type of void, okay, okay, and here what we are going to do, we are going to import this, okay, get it, okay, because with the help of this we will create the dependency injection class. So here we will use get it, okay, then sl equals to get it dot instance, okay. With the help of this we will create the dependency injection of this. So we will create all the classes instance here, okay. So here, so firstly I am going to comment which we are going to create. So firstly I'll create data sources instance, and then create repositories instance, and then create use cases instance, and then we will create cubit instances, okay. And you can also mention any external, okay, external classes instance here. And here, I'm going to register all the classes, okay. So sl dot what in the data source, okay. So sl dot register lazy singleton, okay. We will use lazy singleton here, register lazy singleton here, and then we will have to pass the data source name. So we are getting the data source name from here. So the data source name is my blog remote data source, okay. So here we will pass my blog remote data source, okay, and just import this, and then here we will use my blog data source impl, okay. So this is the remote data source class, and then similarly we will use for repository. So here we will use sl dot register lazy singleton, and then we will use here our my blog repository class, okay. So here my blog repository class we will use this class, okay, this class, and then here we will use my repository impl class, my blog repository impl class, okay. So this class, okay, inside data. So here we will use sl dot call, okay. So you can see no errors now. So with this way we can register the repository data source and all. So I'm going to register our use cases here. So you can see our use cases is already we have created. So here we have the use cases. So I'm going to use sl dot register lazy singleton, and then here we will have to pass the name of the use case, like add post use case. So we have the add post use cases here, so I'm passing this, and then here add post use cases. So we will have to pass the sl dot call here. So you can see no errors now. And for similarly we will use another use cases like get all comments here, get all comments, comment use cases, and then here sl dot call, okay. And get all comment use cases, and we will have to pass the get all post use cases, get all post use cases, okay. And for the qubit we will use sl dot, so we have the two qubit, comment qubit and post qubit, okay. So sl dot register singleton, and then we will have to pass what Okay, and then we'll have to pass post qubit here, and here we will use post qubit, and then we need to pass sl dot call here, sl dot call here. Okay, so similarly we will create one more qubit class here dot, and this qubit class will be the comment qubit class. Okay, and here we are going to use comment qubit. Okay, and then we will use comment qubit. Okay, and then here we will use sl dot call. So you can see we have registered all the classes here like data sources, repository, use cases, and qubit. Okay, so I'm going to close this and just define this injection container inside this main. So I'm going to import that injection container here. So just import, so where is common, and then injection container, and then okay. So we are using like dependency injection here, so I'm going to going inside here, and then we will use as async. Okay, and here we will use widget flutter binding dot it's your initialize type. Okay, and here we will use await, and then ti dependency injection dot init. Okay, so it will create the instance, okay, of this dependency injection. Okay, so it will here all the classes will register. Okay, and then here inside material app we will have to wrap this with block provider because we are using block. So here block provider, sorry, I'm going to use multi block provider because I'm using multiple provider here. Okay, and then we will use provider, and here we need to define all the providers. Okay, so our qubit classes are the providers. Okay, so we will use comment qubit and post qubit here. Okay, so here we will use block provider dot, okay, and then here di dot sl. Okay, and here just import this, just here we need to pass the qubit class, so post qubit, and then here we need to also pass the same class post qubit, and similarly for the comment class we will use comment qubit here. Okay, and then here also we need to pass the comment qubit. Okay, so with this way we can register the qubit classes providers here. Okay, multiple providers. So now we have completed this. Now I'm going to work inside our qubit classes. So before this I'm going to run this application or check it is working or not. So I'm going to work on, I'm going to run this application into Chrome. Okay, so you can see our application is launched successfully and now no errors now. Okay, in with this application, and now I'm going to work on qubit classes. So here firstly I'm going to work inside qubit classes, so I'm going to create one method here. Okay, so we will take future here, and then the we will take void, and then here we will use get all post. Okay, and in this method we will call our use cases. So in the use cases you can see, in the use cases you can see we have already called get post, get all post, and which is inside repository and it is working one by one. Okay, so here we will use get all post method. Here you can specify any name. Okay, and then here we will use response, and then we will use this get all post use cases dot call. Okay, because call is the method which is written inside the use cases. Okay, this call method. Okay, so we are calling this method directly from here in the cubit classes get all post use cases dot call. Okay, and we are not passing any data, so we are not specifying anything here. And then here, okay, and then but before this we will have to go to post state here, and then uh, we have a initial post initial. Okay, so just copy this and paste here, and we will create some classes to manage our state. Okay, so here we will use post loading, and then here we can use post success, post failed, and post form. Okay, in the post failed we will take one string from the qubit classes. Okay, and this will be the message, and here we need to specify our message. So here this dot message. Okay, and here we will use status code string message. We will pass from qubit classes. These all we will pass from qubit classes. Okay, so here string is success, and then here we will use list post model. Okay, post model, and then my list. Just import this post model here, and then just copy this post success from here, and then paste here, and then here this dot status code, this dot message, this dot is success, this dot my list. Okay, so this is the way. Okay, so just copy this from here and then paste here also, and just copy this post form and replace this with post form, and here we will not pass any list inside post form because we are going to handle this with this class, handle the form with this class. Okay, like when we are adding the data from the addition form. Okay, so now I'm going to work here in the post qubit class. Just copy this and press Ctrl Alt T, so you will get this. Just select try catch block, and then here we will use on socket exception, so it will check the internet connection. Okay, just import this, and then here what we are going to do, when we will hit this method, then we will emit. Okay, so what we are going to emit, firstly I'm going to emit this post loading, because firstly we are initializing this class. Okay, so you can see here post initial is here, and now I'm going to use loading. Okay, when the method will hit, then I'm going to use this post loading here. So I will emit post loading here. Okay, with the help of this we will show the progress indicator over the UI. When the API is null, then we will show this post loading, and when the data is uh, feeded, then we will hide the progress indicator according to another class state. Okay, So here we will use post emit, and then here we will use post success. Okay, and in the post success, success, it is taking some parameter like status code, message, and is success. Okay, okay, this parameter it will take. Okay, so here in the here we can pass this response dot status code, and then we can use response dot message, and then here we can use response dot is success, and then I think I didn't apply here. Is success will be the boolean type. Okay, and now here you can see the error has gone, and here we need to pass the list. Okay, so we have the converted JSON object, so I'm going to convert the JSON object to the list. So you can see here that we are passing the converted JSON directly into the data. Okay, so I am not going to use this directly, so here we will use response. I'm going to convert this to the list. Okay, so here we will use response dot data. Okay, data is a variable, and then as list dot map, and here we will use post model the dot from JSON, and then we will use this e element. Okay, this e, and then we will use to list, so it will convert this to list. It will convert this object to the list. Okay, and now we are passing the list into this post state class. Okay, and with the help of this list, we will show all the data which is coming from the list over the UI. Okay, so similarly we will add one more method here. So this will be the type of void, and then add post any method you can name. Okay, and then async, and then here I'm going to copy this all and just paste here, and here I didn't use, so just emit this also. Post loading, post failed. Okay, and it will take message, so here we will use e.toString which is coming inside catch. Okay, just copy this, and then here I'm going to pass this, and here also I'm going to in the post form I am taking status code, message, and is success. Okay, I'm removing this list. Okay, so here I'm going to remove this, and here post form, and then response dot status code message, and then this will be the boolean is success. Status code message and is success. Status code response message and is success. So response status code, why it is showing error? Why it is showing error? Please wait, I'm going to check. Response dot status code, and then I'm not going to pass single only. Okay, I'm going to pass this model directly. Okay, so I'm going to use post model, and then use post model here, and then here I'm going to use, okay, this is the error. Okay, okay, I'm directly passing this model, okay, from here. Okay, main response model. Okay, so this will be the main response model, and then paste here. Okay, so it will not throw any error. Why it is showing error? Okay, just import this equatable from here, and then you can see no errors now. And now we are passing post model from cubit classes. So here you can see. Okay, so you can see no errors now. Actually, there is some error. Okay, and use this as main response model. Okay, you will not get this type of error. Okay, actually my Android Studio is not working. Okay, so not working perfectly, so it was the error. Now it's fine. You can see our post state is also fine, and qubit class is also fine. Okay, so our post qubit class is completed. Now I'm going to work on comment qubit classes. So just go inside post qubit classes and just copy this get all post method, and just close this post qubit post state, and then here I'm going to work inside comment qubit. Just paste this, and then here I'm going to rename this function name get all comments. Okay, and then I'm going to work on comment state. So just copy this class from here, and then paste here, and then paste here 3 times. And then instead of initial, I am using loading to toggle our progress indicator, and then we will use success here, and then we will use failed here. Okay, and in the field we will get the message. So here we will use message, and then we will use this comment failed, and then paste here, and then here we will use this dot message. Okay, and in the comment success what we will get, so just go inside post cubit state and then copy this. Okay, so no need to copy this. Okay, here we will use main response model dot main response model. Okay, and then we will use comment success here. Okay, create the constructor here and then we will use this dot main response model. Okay, so with the help of this main response model we will execute operations over the UI. Okay, and in the comment qubit we are going to import comment loading here, and in the response we will use this use cases get all comment use cases dot call, and then we will have to pass the id which we will get from the UI. Okay, we will pass from the UI, so here we will use integer post id and then we will pass this post id here. One thing I have forgot in the post qubit, inside add post we will get the data. Okay, so here we need to pass another use case, so add post use case here, add post uh, use case, then we will have to pass the data here. Okay, so just close this post qubit class here, and here just remove this emit and then right here, and then here we will use comment success and then we will use response model here. Okay, and just import this socket exception and then here we will use comment field. Okay, so it will throw the message, it will send the message to the state class. So this is the comment. So our qubit classes is completed, so you can see we have created our comment qubit. Okay, we have created our comment state class. Okay, and similarly we have created post qubit and we have created two methods here, and then we have also created the state class and we have created multiple class to manage our state. Okay, so now I am going to work on all post page to display our all post list. Okay, so I am going to all post screen here, and here I'm going to add one toolbar. Okay, so add bar, just save this so you can see one all post toolbar added here. Okay, and now I'm going to display all the data here. Okay, so firstly I'm going to use one init state here to call the method which is written inside post qubit. Okay, so we will hit this method to get all the list. Okay, which is written inside post qubit class. So I'm going to use init state when the page will load, then we will use block provider here and dot off, and then here we need to pass the post qubit. Okay, class, and then here we need to call our method name. So what is the method name? The method name is the get all post. Okay, so we will use get all post. Okay, so with this way we can call the method from the UI. Okay, and now here I'm going to use block builder. Okay, block builder, and this will take our qubit classes and state classes. Okay, so here post qubit and post state. Okay, and then block builder. Okay, and here we need to pass post qubit post state class. Okay, and then uh, here we will have to pass context and state. Okay, with the help of state we will check all the classes which is written inside post state. Okay, and we will access all the variables which is written inside post state. Okay, so here we will check first if state is post loading, then we will return the circular progress indicator to the UI. Okay, so here we will use center tag, and inside center we will use circular progress indicator to show the circular progress indicator over the UI if it is in loading state. Okay, and in the else condition we can center child and then text, we can print our state. Okay, you can show anything if it is if no state received. Okay, so here I'm going to check another state. Okay, so here if post failed. Okay, so here we will access the message. Okay, because in the post failed map class we are getting the message inside post state class. Okay, so we will access this class, access this message. You can see no errors now, and in the post success we will show all the list. So here post success, and in the post success we are getting status code, message is success, my list and all. Okay, so with the help of this my list we will show all the list data over the UI. Okay, so here we will use list builder to show all the data. Okay, so in the list view builder it will take two parameters. Okay, one is the context and one is the index, and then here we need to return the widget. So here we will have to pass the item count. So item count from where we will get, so state dot my list, we are accessing this list. Okay, this list which is inside post success class. Okay, my list dot length. Okay, so with the help of this we will get the length of the list, and with the help of this list we will access all the variables. So I am decorating my UI, so I'll take one margin as insets dot all height, and padding I'll also take, and then I'm going to take color also. Okay, so colors dot orange I'm going to work. Okay, okay, and here I'm going to work on column. Okay, so column, in the column we can write multiple childrens. Okay, so here we will use widget, and in the column we will use cross axis alignment dot start. So the alignment of every widget will start from the left. Okay, so here we will use text, and then we will use this list to get the data of every index. So here we will pass the index. Okay, so this index. Okay, and here we will use dot, then we will get all the parameters like title. So I'm going to show title, so you can see. Okay, and similarly for the another variable you can use, like I'm using any, like body is also there, so I'm using this body. Okay, and now I'm going to show on the UI it is working or not. So you can see our all post is displaying here. Okay, now I'm going to refresh this, so you can see Okay, and the post qubit it is in loading phase. Okay, now I'm going to restart this again. Actually, I want to show you the progress indicator. Okay, before the API load, it will show. So I'm going to close this and run this again, so it will show. Okay, now our whole post API is working successfully and no issues. Now it is displaying the data over the list. So our next step is to show all the comments related to post. When we will hit on any post, okay, so it will take the ID and navigate to the another comment page, and then there we will display all the comments related to that ID which we have passed from the previous page. Okay, so you can see the progress indicator here, and after that progress indicator our API loads here. Okay, all the API is displaying here, and now I'm going to work on all comments. Okay, so when we will click on any item, then we will navigate to another page with the ID. Okay, with the particular ID of the post. So with the help of the post ID we will fetch all the comments and show into the all comment page. Okay, so just in the container we will wrap with inkwell. Okay, and in the inkwell we will use on tag. Okay, and here we will use navigator dot push name. Okay, and here we have to pass the page name. So page constant, we have written all the page name inside page constant class. So page constant dot all comment screen. Okay, so when we will click on every item, and then it will navigate to the comment screen, you can see. Okay, and now I'm going to pass the particular ID. Okay, when we are going to click on any item. So here, so firstly I'm going to comment page. Okay, here comment screen, just open this, and here I'm going to use uh, final comment entity and then comment entity. Okay, and then copy this and just this dot comment entity, and this will be the required, so it will not throw any error. Okay, and now I am going to route we have already created inside common folder, and then just go here, then it will throw a error here. Okay, so here what we can do here, we'll have to wrap inside one condition, that state, sorry, if post entity is, sorry, if args which we have created this variable dot is post entity, then we will show this page. Okay, otherwise we will send it to the error page, error screen. If the user will not send the data, then we will send to the error screen. If they will pass the data, then we will pass to the comment screen, and we will have to pass here okay, in the comment entity we are going to pass this variable args. So you can see, okay, I think I have checked here we need to use comment entity. Okay, so you can see now no errors. Now just close this on page route, and then you can see we are getting the comment entity. So I'm going to show you here also. Okay, so here widget dot comment entity dot post id. Okay, so now I'm going to save this and just click on any, then you can see it is going on another error page. I think I have done some mistake on page route. Comment screen, okay. Is actually look, actually I have done some mistake. I think I'm going to check this, okay. Actually in the all post screen uh, we are not passing any data, okay. So it is going on error page, okay. So we have to pass the argument here, okay. So just pass argument and then we can pass this data from here, okay. And then we will use index. So current index will go to the all comment page, and this is the type of post entity, not the comment entity. So here we need to use post entity, okay. And then here we need to use post entities also. And just go inside here, and here we will use post entity and then post entity, okay. So you can see no errors now. And now I'm going to, what is the error in the comment screen? Post entities, okay. Just change this with post entity and then dot id, okay. Not post id. Just save this and run this. So you will get this all post list data here. And now I'm going to click on any, then you can see two post id is 2, and now I'm going to click on any, then the post id is 6. So with the help of these id I'm going to show all the post here in the comment screen, okay. So I'm going to close this all, and now here just write init state, and then here we will use block provider dot of, and then here we will use comment cubit, because we have written our method inside comment cubit. So you can see this is the get all comment method, and here we need to pass the post id. So I'm going to write dot here and then get all comment, and then we need to pass the post id, okay. So we will have to pass the post id. So widget dot post entity dot id, okay. So with the help of this we can get all the comments. So just go inside all post screen here, and then I am going to collapse this body and then just copy this whole block builder and then paste here inside this body, okay. And here we need to change comment cubit, and this will be the comment state, and here this will be the comment loading, and here we need to pass comment field, okay. And here we will use comment success, okay. So in the comment success we will get all the list, okay. So here I'm going to see In the comment success we didn't define anything. Okay, so just open comment cubit here. Okay, and in the comment cubit, just go here in the post cubit. Okay, so here just copy this, emit, and in the comment cubit I'm going to pass this. Okay, and just open comment state. Okay, here, and then here in the post success I'm not going to use this model. Okay, so just to go inside post state and then you will get this. Okay, inside post success. So just copy this and just paste inside comment state. Okay, so we will pass the status code message is success, and then here we will use comment model. Okay, and then just copy this and paste here status code and all. Okay, and then here we will use comment success. Okay, so in the comment section class we are passing the status code message is success and the list. Okay, which is coming from the response, and it is going to the state class. Okay, inside comment success. So with the help of this list we will display all the comments over the UI. Okay, so here I am going to remove this inquiry. Okay, so just remove this inquiry from here, and then I am going to use dot name. Okay, so you will get all the parameters when we will write dot here. Okay, name, email, you can display anything here. Now I am going to check either it is working or not. Okay, so what we have done, comment loading, comment failed, and in the comment field we are going to display message, and in the success we are displaying all the list which is coming from this state. Okay, and this data is coming from this comment cubit class when we are emitting this inside comment success. So we are taking status code message is success data and all. Okay, so I'm going to close this all, and in the comment screen I'm in. Okay, so just run this. I'm going to click on any, I'm going to click on any, so you can see all the comments related to that post it is showing here. Now I'm going to click on any other post, so you can see all the comments are displaying here. Okay, so now I'm going to add one toolbar here. Okay, so it's working fine. Now I'm going to work on add post screen. Okay, so these two we have implemented successfully. Okay, and now I'm going to work on add post screen. So firstly I'm going inside add post screen. Okay, and here we will add one floating button. When we will click that button, then we will navigate to the add post screen. Okay, so I'm going to add one floating button. So in the scaffold we will use floating button here, and then here we will use floating action button. And then we will use on press here. and here we will use navigator dot push name, okay, and the name will be the page constant dot add post screen, okay. So with the help of this we will navigate to the add post screen. Now I'm going to show you uh, one floating button is added here, and now I'm going to click on this button, so it is navigating to the add post screen, okay. So now I'm going to decorate this add post screen firstly, okay. So I'm going to close this all post screen, and then here I'm going to add one toolbar first, okay. So this is the add post screen, and now here I'm going to work on I'm going to add two text field. One will be the name and one will be the title, okay. So here I'm going to show you what we are posting, title and body we are posting, okay, and the user ID, okay. Title, body and the user ID we are posting. So we will post this into the body. So I'm going to work here in the body. So I'm going to take one container, and in the container we will use one margin, okay, and the margin will be 8, and then here we will use single child scroll view, okay, and here we will use column, and then inside this we will take one children and then widget, and then inside this we will write all the widgets. So, and this will be the cross axis alignment dot start, so it will start all the widgets from the left, okay. So we will use text field first, okay, and here we will use decoration, input decoration, and then it will take hint, okay. So in the hint text we can use enter title, okay, enter title. So first text field will be the title, second will be the body, okay. So enter title, and then here just copy this text field, and this will be the body, okay. And now I'm going to create one elevated button to submit, okay. And in the child we will write the name, okay, like submit. And here we will add height, okay. So I'm going to add height, so it will be separated from the text field, okay. So you can see here, we have two text field, okay, a title and body, and one button submit, okay. So now I'm going to create the controller of each text field to get the data, okay. So here in here I'm going to use final name title controller equals to text editing controller, okay, and another will be the body controller. And when we will hit this button, then we will use block provider dot off, and then here we will use cubit classes. So what is the cubit class? Post cubit, okay. So here we have written the method add post, and we need to pass the post entity here, okay. So post cubit dot add post, and we need to pass the post entity, but we don't have any post entity, so we will use post entity here equals to post entity, and then here we can use, and the post entity it is taking user id, title and body, and we are passing title, body and user id. Okay, so here I'm going to pass this. Just comment this. Actually I have copied for the reference only. Okay, so user id, and the user id I am passing only one, and then I am passing title as, so title we are getting from title controller dot text, and then we are passing body, so body we are getting from body controller dot text. Okay, so you can see we are passing the post entity here. Okay, the user id, title, body, because we have to pass the title, body and user id in the body. Okay, so we are passing these all data inside add post method, and now I'm going to add one block builder here to get the status. uh, what is the status? Okay, here. Okay, so here I'm going to use block builder, and we know that in the block builder we have to pass two classes, so post cubit and post state. Okay, and here we will have to pass, we will have to check here. Okay, if the state is what is the state, like just go inside post state class. Okay, okay, so we have a post loading class. Okay, so we will check this post loading here. If it is post loading class, then we will return center child circular progress indicator. Okay, and in by default we are going to show the state. Okay, state dot to string. Okay, what is the state? It will show this state here. Okay, not going to show anything. Okay, and now similarly we will check another state here, like post failed. Okay, then we will display the message here. So state dot message is there. Okay, and here we can also use post form. Okay, so in the post form we are getting post model. Okay, so in the post model we will use here text state dot post model dot, what is the parameter, like I'm going to show the message. Okay, anything you can show here, or you can set the condition. Okay, so I'm going to show the message. What is the message coming from the response? Okay, now I'm going to save this and run this application again, and now I'm going to show you it is working or not. So I'm going to write anything, any random text, and then I'm going to submit this. So you can see invalid argument post entity one null. Why it is showing, I don't know. Please wait, I am going to check. Post entity dot id body, and then here title, and then user id. Okay, I'm passing this, and now I'm going to check again. Okay, we are passing the data. I think I have passed some invalid data. Okay, so remove this and then just go here in the my block remote data source impl file. Here we are posting the data. So here I'm going to check this. Okay, post id body title, what we are not getting, so I'm going to check again before the response. So here again submit. In the run we will get all the data. Okay, I think the data is not coming from. We are not getting the title and body. Okay, because I have done some mistake here, because we have not set the controller here. Okay, in the title and body, so we will have to pass controller inside add post screen. So here we will use title controller, and then here we will use body controller. Okay, I think it will work fine now. Now I'm going to check again, and now I'm going to click this submit. So you can see all the data is here, and then post entity id null, and then second, what is the second parameter? It is null. Why? Body id body title. Okay, id is null. So you can also work like, so I'm not going to use this type. Okay, so here I'm going to use this like JSON. Okay, so just go here and then copy this JSON and paste here. Okay, paste here. Okay, so we will have to pass the title, body and user id. So we are passing the title from here. Okay, and similarly we will pass the body here, and user id I'm going to leave this. Okay, and just save it again, and now I'm going to check again, press on submit. Then you can see one progress indicator is showing here, and after that we are getting the response post added successfully, and the response we are getting here if it is successful. Okay, post added successfully, and it is sending to the post cubit class. Okay, and post cubit class sending to the post state class. Okay, and in the post state class, from the post state class we are getting the data uh, from post form. Okay, message we are getting. Okay, so you can see our add post API is also working now, no issues. Okay, so I am going to check again. So this is the all post API. Now I'm going to click on any one, then you can see comments are also visible here, and then I'm going to post any data here, then you can see it is working fine, no issues now, and it is showing post header successfully. Our API is also implemented with clean architecture and block state management. So we have completed our uh, clean architecture. Okay, with block state management. So that's all from my side. Okay,